She actually came in the pub. I was propping the bar up, you know, and had a few pints, a bit of Dutch courage, like, and I just asked her if she fancied a night out, you see.
What are you doing tomorrow night?
Oh, that were it, yeah, never forget. And she said, nothing, you know, I'll meet you at top of street. So that's how it all started, isn't it? Mm. Then I like a lot of Mickey took out of us, because I'm like 10 years older than Alison, and it went on and on and on, and sort of the lot wanted so many coming to the wedding, and our lot wanted so many. So one night, we'd had a pint or two, and we decided that we would go and stay with a friend of mine who lived in Kikubrashire in Scotland, you see. We packed the bags the night before and hid them in the shed, you see, in the workshop, and I thought, there's no way she's going to turn up, you know. Anyway, I got my bag, set off for the station, and who should come round the corner but Alison, you see. So that were it, you know, we got to carry on with the thing that we'd started. We got on the train, went all the way up to Scotland, got off the train at Dumfries, and like we were there, then we were lost. We'd got to find this place called Kikubrashire, and we'd got to find this fella called, what's he called? Derek Roscoe. So, a bloody great big line of buses, and at the far end there were the most ancient Leyland single-decker bus in like about 1928 or something like that, or an antique vintage it'd have been. This character who were driving it, he said, oh, okay, I know the Englishman, get on, you see. And off we went, and it's pouring down with rain, and we're miles away from anywhere on top of this bloody mountain. And the bus pulled up, no bus stop, you know, it just stopped at the side of the road. He said, he lives up there, and there's this bloody mountain track disappearing in between a great pine forest. And when we arrived there, this woman said, but he isn't here no more, he's gone home back to Bolton. So there were only one bus a day up this bloody mountain, you know, and so we got to then stay there, or they invited us to stay there, and I slept with the farmer in his bed, and he had a big nightie on and one of them hats with a big bobble on top, you know, like Rip Van Winkle. And Alison slept in a big wooden cot, didn't you know? Bloody great. I tried my best to talk to the old farmer about traction engines, and sort of he weren't that well up on them, but he knew whereabouts of one or two of them. But the day after, what could we do, you know, like we couldn't lose face and come home, so we decided that we would go to Gretna Green, you see. And we went to Gretna Green, and sort of you've got to like book in at the register office or something, you know. We did that, and you have to stay there for how many days, were it?
21.
21 days, and then you were like deemed a resident of the area, and you could get married at the register office. Then Alison, being a bit religious, decided that we'd have a do at the church, you see. So we went down to see the vicar, and he weren't too keen. He didn't like people who ran away from home. Sort of Alison did the talking, and I just stood in the background. And, you know, he weren't very keen, you know. And over his mantelpiece, he had a bloody magnificent picture of the Forth Bridge, you know, great big picture. And I started admiring this picture, you see, and his sort of attitude slowly changed. And he condescended to do the job. Well, the great day come some weeks later, and sort of, when we turned up, knocked on the vicarage door, you know, he were nowhere about, like, you know, and eventually we heard this shuffling, and he appears at the door in his pyjamas, and he said, oh, like, okay, yeah, I've forgotten about you, you know, hang on. And he reappeared with his cassock on and his bloody pyjamas sticking out the bottom. And so we got married with the vicar, and he had his pyjamas on while he did the job. Never looked back since.